Another day, another absolutely insane terrain generation mod. Yes, I'm showing two of them back to back. In my last video, I showed you Big Globe, which pretty much transforms your terrain in every way possible. And today, I'll be showing you JJThunder To The Max, which pretty much just makes your terrain simultaneously very massive and very realistic. And honestly, very massive barely even starts to describe how ridiculously huge this terrain is. So let's just make some comparisons, yeah? For starters, you've got your regular Minecraft terrain, very playable on pretty default render distances. It's nice and it's what you're used to. The next step up in terms of size would be something like Terralith, a little bit larger, but still absolutely playable on a render distance like 16, and you could still probably go lower if you really needed to. Then you've got mods like Tectonic, and around here is at the point where you should probably be using Distant Horizons. I mean, you could play at shorter render distances, but at that point you're kind of missing out on the mod's purpose. Then of course, you have really big terrain generation mods like Big Globe, and a mod like this is getting to the point where within Distant Horizons, you're probably going to want your terrain to be generating out to like 250 chunks. And all of this leads up to JJThunder. At this point, the terrain might as well just be compared to real life. You see, according to Wikipedia, a hill becomes a mountain at around 600 meters or 2,000 feet, and it's a pretty well-known fact that blocks in Minecraft are exactly 1 meter, so in order for it to qualify as a real-life mountain, it needs to be at least 600 blocks tall. Well, no worries, because JJThunder easily clears this. Here's an example. Right now, I'm standing at a Y level of 600, which is obviously very high up. But if I turn around, we're kind of just getting started. In fact, the maximum world height within JJThunder is 2,032, and the mountains actually come pretty close to filling this out. And the Big Globe mod actually technically has an overall taller world height. With that mod, it's 2,048 blocks as opposed to 2,032, but the difference is half of that world is under you. JJThunder, on the other hand, dedicates all of that to the surface. If I head to sea level, I'm at a pretty normal 65. And all of this yields some of the most absolutely incredible looking terrain you'll find in Minecraft. There are some problems though. This extraordinary world height comes at a cost to your sanity in more ways than one. For starters, the time it takes to load these chunks is just insane. They're obviously way higher, so there's more to load, and generating that many of those extra tall chunks takes way longer than you would hope. I flew around the map waiting in dead zones, trying to help speed up the process, and it still took hours. More hours than you'd like. You could always try pre-generating the chunks with a mod like Chunky, but again, it's going to give you a pretty significant waiting time. If, however, you're willing to just set your computer aside for, say, a day or two, it's something to consider. As I mentioned, I did it with a more hands-on approach, and there's still a lot of unloaded chunks in certain directions. The second way this mod could potentially break your will would be actually playing with it. Cause listen, you're gonna have to run so far and so long to get anywhere. I'd say it's almost essential to install some kind of transportation mod, something to speed up this process. Like, at the very minimum, use a mod such as Waystones, so you don't need to do it again and again. I'd also install a step up mod, otherwise your spacebar is going to prematurely weather away under your thumb's pressure. I guess you could just re-enable auto jump, but I mean, come on. Also, I did say before that this mod is different from Big Globe, as the caves aren't taking as much world space, but that doesn't mean they've gone unchanged. They're still filling the terrain under your feet, so depending on where you are, you might have several thousand blocks of cave underneath. And they've been altered in a pretty interesting way as well, starting off smaller towards the surface, then continually growing into an endless cavern deep underground. But yeah, I just think this is a really interesting mod, or Datapack depending on what version you use. It pushes Minecraft to extremes that admittedly most players won't care for, at least when it comes to actually playing. But visually, JJThunder looks awesome, and if you've got the patience for it, you can get some pretty impossible looking footage. So let me know what you think about the mod. I expect it to be quite divisive. And anyway, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and until next time, thanks for watching.